What's up, guys? Barry Gaming here, back with some more Idle Heroes, and today we are going to restart a very old series, a series that we used to have at the beginning of our YouTube content creation career, and that is the Support Hero series, going over all those support heroes maybe not everybody knows about that are pretty crucial in building a good account. Now, the first one, of course, is going to be a hero that everybody usually has, at least in like a 9-star form, and that is Heartwatcher. I've been surprised how many people on Reddit and such really that are like new to the game, because we again have another new wave of players coming to the game. If you haven't hit that subscribe button, do it right now. But they don't really realize what heroes are kind of necessary in the earlier mid game, maybe not as much in the late game, but heroes that just aren't talked about as much anymore. And one of them is definitely Heartwatcher. Because even in like Broken Spaces 8 and 9, she's fallen off and you use things like Olivia and stuff like that instead. So today we're going to go over Heartwatcher, give our recommendations of what power level to bring her to, her skins, her stone setup, her gear setup, all that fun stuff, where you use her, and all that fun stuff. So let's jump right into it. So Heartwatcher is a support hero and probably one of the most support heroes in the early game. She is from the Forest faction. We're going to take a look at her card over here, her just regular form. So no matter what, she is useful on your account no matter what power level she is at. Even down here at a 5-star, she is going to be very, very useful. You see on our free-to-play optimal playthrough series, if you haven't checked that out, definitely check that out. We have a 5-star and it's perfect for the early game. The whole reason Heartwatcher is a thing is because of her Watcher marks. These Watcher marks are marks, of course, that targets inflicted with that mark will take an extra 15% damage when attacked, stacking up to 300%. Now, not only does her active ability do it, but her basic one does too, but the basic one kind of stacks it at a slower rate. At 5-star, it's 15% across the board, so it's not a big deal. When you do get her up to, I believe, like a 6-star, this one will go up to 20%. The active goes up to 25. And when you do get her to a 10-star, this one's 35 and this one's 45. Still the same damage cap, but where Heartwatcher really shines the most is in boss fights. Now, when we say boss fights, there's certain situations we're talking about. Number one, the biggest spot she's useful in is going to be Broken Spaces, because for the majority up through like stage 7, you can keep her alive pretty much the entire combat. And that's the whole point. She needs to get to anywhere between round 8 and like 12, 13, depending on what star level she is, to get max 300% damage, so that your hard carry heroes, like even like your Sword Flash, whatever you have, has the maximum damage bonuses, because that is just a raw multiplier on damage when we're looking at the Heartwatcher's marks. Very, very important. Now, how do you build your Heartwatcher? Yes, she has a skin. Do you need to go for like an upgraded skin? No. Do you need a skin at all? Again, not really, just if you want to give her some extra stats. She does have a limited skin in the Dark Elf, attack, crit, and crit damage, which is okay. She has a festival one for Valentine's Day, attack, crit, damage reduction. This one's really good, but again, you really don't need it on this hero. The one bonus of having a skin for her, though, is that she will get the bonuses from your Celestial Island if and when you get your skin gallery upgraded. Just equipping a skin is going to give her all of these raw bonuses. We can show you right here, actually. I think I have a skin box. No, I don't. And I don't want to use one, sorry. But when you do equip one, you will get a ton of bonus stats. Now, mine is, of course, E5. That's just because we're on a big endgame account, which we just have extra fodder coming out of everywhere. So it's fine. Typically in the early game, you want to try to build a Heartwatcher at 5-star and just keep her at that. Number 2, you want to slowly upgrade her once you have time to build a 9-star Heartwatcher that you're never going to use as food. Once you get her up to 9-star, it takes, I believe, 10-ish rounds to fully max out that the damage cap here against 2 enemies, like in Broken Spaces. If we're talking about Guild Boss and Flame Shrine, That can take longer because of course there's 3 targets and it's really RNG depending on what targets you hit. Normally you want to hit that front target because Drake is also going to be part of your lineup, which we'll talk about next video. That's something that is really important to stack that damage up. Very reliable in Broken Spaces, a little bit less reliable in Flame Shrine, but you're always going to use her against those guild boss fights. And then eventually you want to get her up to a 10 star. 10 star, she has the max stacking of 35%, 45%. I believe it takes about 8 rounds to fully cap that out against 2 bosses, which means you get 7 rounds of 300% bonus damage, basically, for all the attacks that hit that target that has the mark floating around it. So that is very, very important to get going, to get maximum PvE progression in those game modes. Now, as far as gearing her up, typically, of course, resonance gear, a full set with like the right resonance and everything would be most optimal. But for the average player, you probably won't be able to do that. What I highly recommend doing on this hero is doing some sort of split gear on her for the meantime. Like in early game, this is normally what you'll see. The reason why you use a lower tier of weapons or just a different tier of weapons and a different tier of armor is because of the 2-set bonus. They stack. By having both the armor and the boots at your highest star level, they're going to get the maximum raw stats compared to a lower tier. And then by adding the attack stats, which don't really matter on a hero because you're not looking for Heartwatcher to do damage, you're looking for her to survive to get you some damage. You do that 2-piece bonus and now you're getting double HP bonuses here, which really, really adds up. As far as the stone goes, just kind of take it to wherever you feel comfortable. Don't go too out crazy with it. It doesn't have to go over a celestial stone. Try to find something like HP, or I don't know if crit HP is a stone. Something with HP, though, to give her survivability. As far as artifacts go, of course, when you are way in the late game, you're going to want to use an energy feed situation. But normally, just anything with damage reduction and HP will work just fine. As far as enabling goes, you just want to, again, make her very, very tanky. This one, Shelter, you could either pick Shelter or Vitality for extra healing. Definitely use Control Purify if they have a CC and keep Unbending Will on her. Now, she does have a little bit of built-in protection, some healing. Each crit strike has a 100% chance to heal her based on her attack. She's not going to have very high attack. It is just a little minuscule heal, but it's still a heal nonetheless to try to keep her alive. Some people run like a crit stone, but honestly, a split gear setup, something like a Plate of the Courageous, aka Fearless Armor for those older players out there. Some sort of setup like this is going to be most optimal in the early game. Again, you really don't need her above a 10 star unless you're really pushing to maybe use her in Broken Spaces 7, 8, and 9. At that point, getting her up to E3 to get the Purify enable is very, very strong for her. But I feel like the average account only needs her at a 10 star, and I would not use her as food, and I would not build her too early either. I feel like the optimal playthrough is going to have a 5-star Heartwatcher for probably 3 to 4 months at the beginning of the account. That way we can build 3 or 4 different E5s. Once we feel comfortable, we'll probably bump her up to a 9-star food. And then down the road, once we have like a full 6 or 7 hero lineup, we have a Transcendence hero, then bump her up to a 10-star because it's not that important, but it's still important having her in your lineup. So hopefully this helped you guys out. Hopefully for the newer players out there, it helps you understand Heartwatcher a little bit more and why she's important. She's not there to deal damage. She's there to make your other damage dealers deal even more damage. So hopefully you guys enjoy this one. Make sure you guys hit that subscribe button. I'll see you guys next time.